What is up, YouTube? Today is day, I don't know, 13, maybe 14 of the JRJ Bootcamp. Today's video is going to be getting into fair value gaps. Now, I'm still deciding what I want to do. I don't know if I just want to talk about fair value gaps or if I want to also show you. But I feel like I do want to make these multiple part series because I don't want to make it where it's a one part 50-minute long video where I talk and then show it, because one, that's boring for me, but two, I feel like that's just too much information for you to handle all day, because then you're gonna have to study it for 2 hours. Versus maybe I go right here, like I'm making this shit up as I go with you, but maybe like this video is just on what they are, and then the next video I make can be on like a psychology lesson, so that you have time to study what it is in the meantime, and then I'll come back for another day, like day 17, 16, 15, and it'll be like, okay, well, here's what it is in the market, and this is how you use it. Now, to start, the first thing I just want to say is a fair value gap. Well, let's not even get to what it is. I'm just going to say it has multiple names. A fair value gap stands for FVG. FVG is the abbreviation that you're always going to see. Now, a fair value gap is pretty much an imbalance in price. People will call them imbalances, liquidity void, although I will say you're not going to hear that as much. FVGs, BISI, SIBI, all of that stuff. Now, what is a fair value gap? Well, a fair value gap is a retracement tool in price. It is essentially an imbalance where the market is likely to either A, retrace to, or flush through. The market is likely just to come down to fill some more orders and rebounds price there before continuing the setup. Now, this video or next video will also cover inverse fair value gaps, which is where price's gap may get filled and we might start reversing the other way. Now, a fair value gap is a 3 candlestick pattern, which I will show in the next video, as the strong impulse candle is going to be the middle. The first candle is high, and the third candle is low. They're not going to overlap. Now, that would be a bullish fair value gap. Now, in a bearish fair value gap, the first candle is low, and the second candle is high, or third candle is high. Would not overlap. Now, that would be a bearish fair value gap. Now, I want to emphasize pretty much the importance and difference between that first candle and third candle's gap in the middle, and not just simply about the large middle candle. So size does matter in trading. Unfortunately, boys, size does matter in other aspects of life. I can vouch. It's alright. You could be average 5 and still be rich. Money talks. It's about how you work it. You might not be gifted, but it's alright. How did Bugsy, whatever his name is, get to the league? He knew how to work it. He was short. He's still bald. You might be short, but hey, bro, it's all about the motion. Okay, now let's get into more trading. So with that said, size does not matter in trading, as obviously it helps, but that little gap that you'll see in the next video could literally be this small, or it could be this fucking small from the data wick. Now, with that said as well, there's different fair value gaps though, depending upon the size, as there's breakaway gaps, and then there's just fair value gaps. Now, the breakaway gaps are gaps where the middle candle actually overlaps all of them. Like you'll see when I show examples, but it's very volatile and it overlaps the wicks. So the fair value gap is still formed, but when this happens, price is less likely to redraw to that imbalance, as that gap is kind of breaking away, saying the trend is about to rocket. It's not saying the trend is about to retrace back into that. It's not going to be used as a rebounds tool, but instead it's just going to keep continuing. Now, when that middle candle is not as big and it's still within the wicks, then that's fine, as in that is a normal fair value gap where price is very likely to rebound still. Now, price will either rebound and just tap it, or it will retrace to the CE. I will make a video on that, but that is called the consequential. I can't say the word, but it's like the consequential encroachment. Everyone just says EQ. Equilibrium, that's 50% mark. I'll make a video on that. Now, with that said, a fair value gap is not an actual price within the market, but it is seen between trading sessions. Like, it is classified by us traders like, okay, price will go here, 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 and it will react there, there, there. Okay. So that's kind of, the market's going to keep rebalancing them, and I'll also make videos on this. There's going to be different types of gaps. There's going to be mitigated gaps, unmitigated gaps, unfilled gaps, filled gaps, new day opening gaps, weekly opening gaps, 1 hour time frame gaps, 4 hour time frame gaps, 1 minute gaps, 1 second gaps. I'll explain it, but everything does kind of mean a little bit different. I just remember a higher time frame will hold higher power. Now, these gaps are going to help you with your daily bias alignment. Some are going to fail, and some are going to help. Trends can change them. News can change them. But overall, it's just going to be a great tool to keep in the back of your mind. Now, they could also be seen for those of you traders, support and resistance. I don't teach that, shit's gay. But they can be. Now, in the next video, we'll also talk about drawing the gaps, ignoring the trend, trading, how to trade the gaps, how to enter with confirmation, how to enter without confirmation, ignoring risk management we'll talk about with the gaps. And we're kind of just going to stress that the FVG, it's a location of interest. It is a high tool. Like, for example, if you're in a huge bullish uptrend and you still have those Asia highs right there, a strong draw of liquidity, maybe you say, okay, I did this day, okay, the R is not there for me to just enter. But what if I place a limit on this gap as a retracement tool? It's also going to be a very strong place where a lot of you are going to use as your take profits and your stop losses. What makes me say that? Well, truthfully, your take profits, I'm going to say that because a lot of the times you might be targeting a higher time frame unfilled gap because it's very likely to draw to, but it also might reverse after taps. And then a lot of times you're going to enter on like a 1 minute confirmation trade where you just inverse the fair value gap and you're now going to put your stop loss below the fair value gap and then target whatever. Maybe you're targeting a 5 minute unfilled. As these gaps are literally just going to be, it's almost like another type of liquidity, if that makes, it'll make more understanding. So obviously it doesn't just mean reverse, but they tell us a lot, especially IFVGs. Shout out Dodgy DD. He is the one who made this concept. So I'm just saying I will teach those, but if you find out that is your strategy, go and watch him. I'm not saying don't watch me, I'm saying watch all mine. But I'm saying if IFVG's inverse fair value gaps is your strategy, everyone will tell you go watch him too. I did it before it was my strategy. Same with everyone. He made it. He knows the most about it. Do that. Okay? Blake Petty good. I'm good. TGR's good. Aval's good. All them boys. Now, I just want to end this video with a simple trading framework so just you know what to expect in the upcoming fair value gap videos. 1, we're going to be talking about how to identify the higher time frame trend using these. Then we're going to be talking about how to locate a quality fair value gap with a favorable location. Then we're going to be waiting, how to wait for price to retrace and how to know it's going to retrace. And then we're going to say how to look for confirmation, how to manage your risk, and how to exit according to your plan with these. Now, the fair value gaps move really in 3 ways. Obviously, you'll chop in them, but it's mainly going to be, it's either going to be a trend continuation, or it's going to be a pullback, or it's going to be a reversal. And there's different types for all of those that you will learn. Now, with that said, that is going to be today's video, fair value gaps, as I didn't want to show you them yet. Your homework is quite literally just going to be get familiar with the stuff I was saying. I'm not going to give you homework to say go find out what a gap is. No. Because I'm going to show you in the next fair value gap video. So kind of just take this day with no homework, besides obviously just getting to know these in the back of your mind. But that was today's video, and I will see y'all boys later. Peace.